Hello, hello, and good morning, and welcome back to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. It's Melissa, and it's time to talk about how everything's connected and what's happening in your magical world. So at the time of this recording, it is Monday, January 19th, 2026. It is very, very, very chilly outside. In my coffee cup, I have some Starbucks blonde roast, a Christmas present, a very happy acceptance for me about that present. I'm really starting to dig the blonde roast. We do a lot of dark roast here, and it's a nice contrast. It's a nice change. My blonde roast with some homemade oat milk, which I'll talk about that more later, and a little sweetener. Nothing too special. I am wearing warm fleecies, and I am snuggled up on the couch with Momo, the wonder dog, who is under a blanket. He is awake, but feeling snuggly and snoozy. I think we'll see how that goes. Okay. So yesterday was the new moon, the January new moon, and I've read some reports that they're saying it is the most powerful new moon of the year. I don't know how much credibility there is to that. I think they're all powerful in their own ways. Many use the new moon as an opportunity to reset, to set new beginnings for that 30-day cycle. And then the full moon is often used to release, and then we reset at the new moon. Or at least that's the way some people do it. I've never been much of a new moon girl, especially not in January when we have below zero temperatures. We are approaching that time of the year in my part of the world where it's going to be very cold. We'll get a few respites of warm weather, but it will be very, very, very chilly for a while. So the new moon, somebody asked me a question. Well, I can't see the new moon tonight, so is it cloudy? Is it not here? Am I cursed? Blah, blah, blah. The new moon is the cycle when we cannot see the new moon. I wish that some of the groups were more instructional on stuff like this. The full moon is when the moon is at its largest light, fullest light, and then the new moon is when we restart. So you can't see the new moon. Like if you were in a rocket, maybe somewhere you could, but you can't from planet Earth. So let's just leave that at that. The new moon is often used to set new beginnings. Now, the whole moon water frenzy about I must make moon water for the full moon, that's been an online trend and frenzy for a while. Now I see that new moon water is starting to become a thing. Oh, well, how do I know if my new moon water is charged properly if I put it outside and I can't even see the moon? The topic of this podcast is going to be cycles. The moon does what it does, regardless of when you put your jar of water outside or in your windowsill. The moon influences the earth, it influences the tides, and it influences the individuals and animals that live on this planet as well. The moon does what it does. If you like the concept of making moon water during any season of the moon and using that in your life, in your practice, I use full moon water to water my plants. I don't know if it really helps them all that much, but I feel good about it. If this practice brings high vibration and brings happiness and joy into your life, then certainly go ahead and do that. That's awesome. But I'm reading so much about rules and I don't understand why everybody wants to put so many rules on everything and make everything so restricting and so constricting. It's water in a jar and the moon in the sky. Just enjoy the cycle of it. And however you decide to implement that into your life, that's awesome. Just go ahead and do that. So let's talk about cycles a little bit. So not only do we have a monthly cycle of moon phases, we're nearing the end of January. Imbolc, or the midpoint between the first day of winter and the first day of spring, is approaching, and it usually hits on the calendar somewhere around February 1st, February 2nd. This is the midpoint between. Some people celebrate Imbolc as those first signs, those first glimpses of spring returning. I'm one of those people. I celebrate more the Christianized version, which is Candlemas, which I talked a little bit about in a previous podcast. About that returning of the light, the returning of spring, the returning of signs. But again, just to celebrate the turning of the earth and those cycles that repeat year after year after year. And it got me to thinking about cycles, and in my part of the world, in the mountains of central Pennsylvania, it does get very cold this time of year. Like, we're looking for signs of spring, but typically in my part of the world, February and March can be the coldest temperatures. So even though the calendar says to expect something, I know from my own personal history that some cold weather is coming. So yesterday I saw on my phone there's a weather alert for sub-zero temperatures coming tonight, and that's supposed to last for 2 days or so, I suppose. Because I've been on the planet almost 60 years, and I've lived in this part of the world a very long time. I know that this is coming. I expect this. Sometimes I think it's funny when people get so shocked, like, oh, it's January and we're going to get cold weather. Of course we're going to get cold weather here. This is just one of those natural cycles of life. So I guess from my perspective, looking at it, that everything is connected, I like to be observant, and I like to look back on my past, but I also look at the future. Now, if you believe in climatology and climate change, there are some concerns about weather patterns, but cycles repeat themselves. So it's something to be aware of, but it's not something that I lose my mind over. But as a steward of the environment, I try to take care of things. Not so much just because the scientists tell us to do so, but because I feel good about it in my own heart. I knew this podcast would ramble a bit, so please try to hang with me as I explain this. Here at the cottage, we have noticed cycles of birds. We're seeing some different birds. We're seeing some different patterns. Some animals and some birds, and even some insects that we haven't seen in the past. And it's always cool to see new things, but it makes me wonder on a larger scale of things why we're seeing different patterns and why the usual birds that we saw we're not seeing anymore. Are they gone? Have they moved on? Or are they no longer existing? So that's something to think about in your own life. When we look at patterns and cycles that repeat, where do we want to give our energy to? back to the moon water thing, I see so many newcomers like losing their minds over a jar of water. It's okay. Nothing horrible is going to happen unless you put it out in sub-zero temperatures and it freezes and cracks and breaks. I guess broken glass all over your porch could be a bad thing. Nothing earth-shattering. You're not going to curse yourself or curse the earth for the rest of your life if you didn't leave your jar out as long as someone else did. The earth keeps turning, things keep happening, and cycles repeat. So let's move on from that to how things are connected. I like to pay attention to how much of my energy I put into different things. So I'm going to be honest, I do the moon water thing to water my plants, but there have been months that I have forgotten. And the plants are still alive and the earth is still spinning and the world moves on. I wear some crystal bracelets because I am an advocate for crystal therapy as an alternative therapy to westernized medicine. I was having a lot of back pain. I had an x-ray. They said they could see no visible cause for it. I changed up my yoga routine. I thought, let's try some crystals. So I did some research and I chose some that I thought would be beneficial to my lower lumbar and my hip discomfort. And I started wearing those crystal bracelets all the time. I do put them out in the moonlight to charge them, and I do put them under a bell so I can feel their frequency from time to time. I feel that gave me some benefit. Now that could be spicy psychology and it could be all psychological. Maybe the vibration of those crystals is helping with that discomfort. Honestly, I don't care which it is. I don't care if it's the vibration. I don't care if it's spicy psychology. It lessens some pain and it's not invasive. It's not intrusive. It's not a chemical that's going to hurt my body. So I was perfectly okay with experimenting with some crystal therapy. So yes, I put them out under the moonlight from time to time to chill them out and to clean them up. And then I put them under a bell and ring a bell over them until I can feel the vibration of the crystals in my palm. I know that not everyone can do that, but I can do that. So as far as like moon cycles, yes, I do follow them and I do have some little rituals for them, but if I forget, it's not the end of the world. So let's move on to repeating cycles. In my own life, there have been repeating cycles. Different things have appeared and reappeared and disappeared and reappeared because life moves on. You may find yourself in an employment opportunity that's wonderful, you love it, and then it just isn't going well and you decide to lend your energy to move in a new direction. Or maybe it's wonderful, maybe it's the best opportunity ever, and it just disappears because suddenly, because of financial reasons, you find your position is being removed, or the entire company is being removed. I've worked at places that no longer exist. It's a sad truth. I mean, it's not because of any cause of mine, it's just because they no longer exist. One of my first bosses was a very, very old man when I went to work for him. You know, I was sad when I learned that he departed. He was a dentist up in the southern tier of New York. I believe he was 72 years old when I went to work for him. I was young, like 19. So, you know, of course, he's no longer on the planet, so I can't get a good job reference from Tony. But, you know, just the cycle of life moves on and we get to choose where we want to put our energy and where we want to pull back. So that's going to put me onto my my next topic, my part of that. Like, there are a few organizations in my community. I was working with an organization. I was hoping that my energy would vibe with that team and I could do some positive things for them. Over time, I was feeling that the vibe just isn't right for a number of reasons. I don't want to sound gossipy. But just from a cycles, this was feeling like a repeating cycle to me. This was actually a cycle I saw my mom go through with some of the same players, maybe the mothers or the fathers of the same players. And it was looking like a repeating cycle to me that I don't think was very healthy for my mom. And I was already feeling that this just wasn't the right vibe for me. Now, I know the people on the other side of the table, they don't understand, like, wow, we're important. Why wouldn't you want to be part of our organization? Why wouldn't you want to be part of what we're doing? Because I'm seeing this repeating cycle that I don't want to be a part of. The other thing was purely environmental. Being who I am, the holistic witch, green girl, different things that I get called on the internet. My family, we camp. We're a very outdoorsy family. We care about the environment, and we do belong to some other organizations that support environmental causes. There is a project coming up that I feel does not align with what my family does. I feel that it's a personal conflict for me, but it's also a conflict for what my family does. So I had mentioned a little bit in this podcast about seeing the different birds and different things. So they want to bring in some trees that are non-native, and one of them's actually on the invasive list, which concerns me, purely for landscaping reasons, purely for aesthetics. And I had some concerns about that, and I think I logically and gently voiced my concerns, and they were ignored, so that's cool. They can do what they want. But ethically, I have a problem supporting an organization and giving a large amount of time and asking for donations for a project that doesn't align with my personal beliefs. So some nasty things have been said, and I expect there will be some consequences from this. But seeing in the repeating cycle of things and where my heart aligns, was I willing to walk outside of my heart's alignment just to repeat a generational cycle that I didn't want to be part of anyway. Now I chose a no on that, even though I know there will probably be some unpleasant consequences in the future because of that. Now on the other hand, another opportunity opened. When you leave one, sometimes a new one opens. There's a new opportunity in the local library. Some things shifted and changed. I used to work in another library that the county ran, and Chris was pretty young at the time. I think maybe around age 4 or 5. The county removed its support. I had been working in the children's library there at that time. And the county decided to drop support for that. A local organization opened it up as a privately run library, and my services were no longer wanted at that time, which was fine. I miss that type of work. It looks like there may be some opportunities to do that type of thing again. So, cycles repeat. When you've been on the planet a long time, you'll see cycles repeat, and you get to choose where you want to put your energy and where you choose to withdraw your energy. I will always support environmental causes that are dear to my heart, and I will always support educational opportunities that are dear to my heart. Now, over time, those may change. Like I said, new people come in, the energy changes, and in the future I may feel that this opportunity isn't right for me. But for now it feels like it is, so I'm just treading with the cycles. Right now it's cold, this is the cycle of rest. I'm spending a little time there, reorganizing, getting things ready for the spring, so hopefully we can have a resurgence of new life in that project. In the community project, I'm deciding to withdraw my energy. I'm sure in the spring they'll have a resurgence, but I'm choosing to not put my energy into that. And whether you consider yourself witchy or not, this is a pattern that we all go through, and we all get to make these choices and make these decisions. Another thing I'm noticing is overwhelm. I certainly have dealt with overwhelm in my life. I was taught that if you're not constantly busy and constantly producing, you're useless. And that's something I've tried to work with shadow work to control. But I'm seeing it in some other people. So remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can draw back and choose where you want to put your energy and how much of your energy you want to put into a project at a certain time. You have the choices and you can control that. So let's move on to the recipe portion of today's podcast. So I said I have homemade oat milk in the coffee cup this morning. I've decided, just because of my health and how I'm feeling, to incorporate more of a plant-based diet. In my part of the world, unless I can find oat milk on sale, a half gallon of oat milk in our local store was $5.49 a carton. And it's not even, I don't love the taste of it, to be honest. I've made my own oat milk before. Santa brought a new blender for Christmas. Thank you, Santa. My old blender was not getting the job done. So I made my first batch of oat milk with the new blender yesterday. I made a small batch using 3 cups of water, 1 cup of uncooked old-fashioned oats, and then I sweetened it and added some vanilla after the process. So I let that run in the blender for quite a long time, and then I strained it into a jar. Now here's the difference. With the old blender, I had to do that blending and straining process 3 times because the oat milk was so chunky I could barely stand it. It was gritty. With the new blender, the grind is so much finer. I only had to strain it 1 time, and it was like awesome. It had the texture of the store-bought brand I like. So that was cool. So I'm playing around with that. Now, where this has to do with cycles and energy, I hear the stupid word a lot in my life. I have neighbors and some people in my life that call me stupid. They call me the big weirdo. Oh, that's stupid. Why would you drink oat milk? Oh my God, why would you bother to make your own oat milk? Because I'm deciding to put my energy into the process. Remember, oats correspond with abundance. Very much of my practice is about living a wholesome and abundant life. So I'm choosing to put a little more energy into making my own oat milk so I can sweeten it the way I want it. I can flavor it the way I want it. And it's a little ritual of abundance. Now with the new blender, what I strained off, the little oaty paste in the strainer, I saved in a cup, and I'm going to be stirring that into Momo's food. I feel like Momo could put on a little bit of weight. He's an older gentleman, and he loves oats. So I'm going to be stirring a little bit of that paste into Momo's food. So everyone's benefiting from it. It's a ritual of abundance. And I feel good about it because it's clean. I know what's in it, and I made it myself. Now, yes, I'm putting energy into it to make it. But if I go down to the local store and buy it, I have to drive down. Now, doesn't take long. It's a few minutes drive. I have to park. I have to go in. I have to deal with the people inside the store. Sometimes that energy exchange isn't always pleasant. Right now, like I said, if they have it and it's not on sale, it's $5.49 a carton. I bring it back. There's been times when the milk I bought at the store wasn't usable. I don't know if they move it from the back to the cooler time appropriately. Sometimes the milk goes bad, So that's a waste in time and energy as well, going to a store and getting a product that's not usable. So that's why I try to make as much stuff here at the cottage with shelf staples as I can. Maybe I put more energy into this type of thing than other people choose to, but I feel good about it, and it's a cycle in my life where I feel like I'm getting a good return from that energy. So today I made a larger jar of oat milk. I started with 5 cups of water. I did 1.5 cups of Bob's Old Mill old-fashioned oats, and I flavored it a little differently. I added some vanilla and maple to this one. Now, because I'm working on a plant-based diet right now and I'm having some inflammation issues, last night I experimented with making a golden milk recipe before bed. So starting with my oat milk recipe, I added ginger and turmeric, and I did add a little honey to this. I didn't use Splenda, I used a little honey. I warmed it up, and that's going to be my bedtime drink to fight inflammation. I'll let you know how it goes. Now, in the scheme of things, I didn't do the math on this, but what did I say, $5.39 and $5.49 for a carton of milk down at the store. If I travel 30 minutes to another store, I might be able to save 20 cents on it, but of course, you got the money and gas. We did the math before. I figured it's costing me about 80 cents for a batch of milk. Now, I made a double batch. It came out to 6 cups of product this morning. Let's figure maybe that's costing me $1.60 to make that. That's almost as much product as the carton. So I feel good about that. I'm spending less money. I know it's clean. I trust my own energy. I trust the product that I'm making. I trust the product I'm using. I like Bob's Old Mill oats. I don't know what kind of oats they're using in the factory that process the oats. Maybe they're high quality, maybe it's garbage. I don't know. But I trust my product. I trust the energy I put into my product. And this is where I'm choosing to put my energy. Other people choose to put their energy elsewhere, and that's fine. Like I said, we all get a choice. When people say, what does this have to do with witchy stuff? Because in my world, witchy stuff has to do about using or directing energy to create change. So this morning, I used my energy to make a healthy drink. So after I'm done with the podcast, I have some oatmeal. I cooked a big batch yesterday, so I'm going to have oatmeal with a little oat milk on it, a little grated ginger because we buy organic ginger, and that will be my breakfast for the day. It might actually be lunch too. And then tonight I'll have the oat milk drink with the ginger and the turmeric to fight inflammation. You could go on a high-end store and buy these same products. You could buy some of them in a grocery store. You could buy them in a high-end store. Trust me, you're going to pay for that. Or you can learn to make your own. So in my cottage witch life, where everything's connected and you can do these things yourself, I'm choosing to put my energy there. So we're at the 30-minute mark. The last podcast was Just Keep Moving. So I hope that you are moving. I hope you're being healthy. I hope you're taking some time for self-love and self-care for yourself. Keep your body moving, trying to eat some healthy foods, and remembering that everything is connected. Where we put our energy, where we interact with others, it's all connected. And that's where I'm going to end this one for this week. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I wish you well. I wish you healthy energy. I wish you healthy cycles of energy. And blessings on your journey. Bye-bye.